Of course! Should be easy enough. Let's see what we can do. Greetings, my dear viewers. It is I, Geralt, back once again with another Dungeons & Dragons character conversion. If you are new to this series, I, your lovely host, take a look at different characters from throughout fiction and see how they can be incorporated into Dungeons & Dragons using their lore to match up with race, background, and classes. And if need be, feats. Now, we're going to take a detour from our Fallen Gods series that I've been doing for the last couple weeks and taking a look at a viewer review. Not a viewer review, Shoot, I messed up. Viewer request. That's the word I'm looking for. A viewer request. That is right. One of you, dear viewers, has requested this build. And since Von Richen's Guide to Ravenloft was recently released, I thought, what better way to finish off this build than with one of the new character options available from this campaign guide. So I'll be taking a look at the Witcher series, more specifically Geralt. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I have no experience with this character beyond Soul Calibur when Geralt had a guest appearance. A very interesting fighting style. So, anyway, I'm blabbing. Let's get into this. Starting off, of course, with the point-buy system for our stats. Geralt is going to have a very balanced set of stats. Strength, intelligence, and wisdom are all going to be 13 for the purposes of this build, with dexterity, constitution, and charisma being 12. For race, this comes from Von Richen's Guide to Ravenloft. It is the Hex Blood lineage, which is actually a 1-for-1 for Geralt. Well, that's not true. More of a 0.5-to-1. We'll get the rest of it later. Anyway, the Hex Blood, according to Von Richen's Guide to Ravenloft, are humanoid creatures that have been magically altered by Fae, or even witches who are trying to get more people into their coven, or other excuse implanted here. It's actually a very nice race to be using for The Witcher because of this magical mutation that the subject goes through, which is the lore of the Witchers. That is how they become Witchers. A human goes under a magical mutation in order to face the supernatural threats of their world. I may not have any experience with this character, but I know how to do my research, unlike a certain theorist that will not be named here. Because of the new lineage system presented to us in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, we get a +2 to one stat and +1 to another stat. We're going to increase intelligence by 2 and charisma by 1. Our creature type is Fey for the purpose of this race. We get a walking speed of 30 feet. Our ancestral lineage, since we are starting with this lineage, is going to be Arcana and Stealth on our skills. We get a dark vision of 60 feet, and we also get the Eerie token feature, which is actually pretty good. We also get languages, which is not listed in Von Richt's guide, so I'm just going to assume we get 2 languages of choice. Common and Elvish make the most sense in my opinion. Moving on to background. For Geralt's character, it makes the most sense to go with the Haunted One background. I mean, if you were forced to stab your friend and kill them, you'd be pretty haunted by that as well. Not to mention a rival clan of witchers has framed you for the murder of your own order. So things are a little bit messed up. Secondly, you get a Monster Hunter's pack as one of the items for getting this background, so it is perfect, in my opinion. Anyway, starting with our proficiencies, we have 2 skills, Investigation and Survival. We also get 2 languages. One of them is going to be Sylvan, and the other, just for the heck of it, Orcish. And I forgot to put in the feature from this background. Give me a quick second. Hold on. You get the feature, Heart of Darkness, which is very similar to the Folk Hero's own feature, but in a different sort of mood. Thankfully, we actually get this background in Von Richt's Guide to Ravenloft as well. So things are actually pretty good so far. Now, moving on to class. Our starting class is going to be the Blood Hunter. This is where the last little bit of that 1-for-1 comes in. Because the Blood Hunters, well, they hunt monsters. That is their whole shtick. They go to probably some drastic lengths to do so, but they still do what they do, and they do it well. In fact, the Blood Hunter class is one of my favorite classes, even though it was made by Matt Mercer. Not saying Matt Mercer is bad or anything, I just don't really follow him that much. I probably need to get started on watching Critical Role. Anyways, the Blood Hunter. We get a 1d10 for our hit die. Our hit points is going to be 10 plus our Constitution modifier. And at higher levels, we get a 1d10 plus Constitution modifier per Blood Hunter level. For proficiencies, on our saving throws, we get Dexterity and Intelligence. For tools, we get Alchemist Supplies, and skills grab Athletics, Acrobatics, and Insight, because we're definitely going to be needing those. For one of our features, we get Hunter's Bane, which gives us the Hemocraft saving DC of 8, plus your proficiency bonus, plus your intelligence modifier. We also get Blood Maledict, which gives us a Blood Curse. The one that makes the most sense for our build is going to be Blood Curse of the Marked, which works very similarly to the Ranger and Hunter's Mark. Next, we get a second level in our Blood Hunter, which gives us a fighting style. Let's go with dueling. We also get Crimson Right. Using the Crimson Right is much like the Smite feature of a Paladin, though we get some different damage outputs. For our Crimson Right, we're going to go with Rite of the Flame, because something tells me that Geralt likes fire. Moving on, we're going to multi-class into Paladin. This will make sense a little bit later. We get another d10 hit dice, and for some extra hit points, 1d10 plus Constitution modifier per Paladin level. We get Divine Sense, which will help us sense when there is something not quite good in the area. We also get Lay on Hands to give us a little bit of healing, not much, but just enough. Level 2 Paladins get a fighting style as well, and I think it is important for us to grab blind fighting. Much like the reason why we grabbed the Hex Blood with their dark vision, the vision of a Witcher is really something else. Their cat eyes let them see in the dark, and also they cannot be blinded by blind light. Unfortunately, there is no such feature, so the closest thing is going to be blind fighting. Just in case if we are blinded, we still have a fighting chance. We also get our spellcasting, which uses our charisma modifier, and we also have Divine Smite. Alright, now for an overload. And I don't do this very often, but we are doing 3 classes. For a level 1 ranger, we get the extra 1d10 hit die and extra hit points of 1d10 plus Constitution modifier per ranger level. We get Favored Enemy, which will pick Monstrosity, and we next will get the Deft Explorer from the revised ranger features. Level 2 rangers get a fighting style. Just for the heck of it, we're going to do Druidic Warrior, which gives us 2 cantrip from the Druid class, which is going to be Produce Flame and Shillelagh for this build. You can choose whatever you want. I just did these 2 cantrips just because. And we also get a spellcasting modifier with Wisdom. Alright, moving on for our subclasses. Level 3 Blood Hunters get a Blood Hunter Order, which, funnily enough, Geralt's Witchers are parts of different orders. Now, for the Witcher specifically, we're going with the Blood Hunter Order of the Mutant, which gives us formulas and mutagen craft. Paladins at 3rd level gives us Divine Health, which is the main reason why I wanted a Paladin multiclass, is because of this Divine Health feature, which makes us immune to disease, which is very important because Witchers are said to be immune to disease. Now, most Witchers that you would probably see probably have the Sacred Oath of the Ancients. At least that's the oath that I can best tie them to, which will give you the oath spells of Ensnaring Strike and Speak with Animals, as well as Channel Divinity of Nature's Wrath and Turn the Faithless. However, something tells me that Geralt isn't an Oath of the Ancients, but rather an Oath of Vengeance. For our Oath spells, we get Bane and Hunter's Mark. For our Channel Divinity, we have Abjure Enemy and Vow of Enmity. Now, moving on to our 3rd level for Ranger, we're going to get Primeval Awareness, and our Ranger archetype is Hunter. I was originally going to go with Monster Slayer, but the features that were given from Monster Slayer were already covered by the Blood Hunter. So, sorry my friend, but that part is going to have to be omitted. Thankfully, the Hunter archetype is just as good, if not better, because we get the Hunter's Prey feature. Now we get 1 of 3 different selections. I would choose either the Colossus Slayer or the Horde Breaker. This all depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your Witcher build. If you're going for maximum amount of damage, I would definitely go with the Colossus Slayer. However, if you're trying to look cool while you are fighting multiple monsters, the Horde Breaker is definitely the choice for you. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and finish this video off with a couple of ability score improvements. At level 4 for our Blood Hunter, go ahead and increase Strength and Wisdom each by 1. And for Ranger level 4, increase that Constitution to a 14. This should round out all of our stats perfectly. And I think that's all we are going to do for today. I hope you enjoyed. Once again, make sure to check out Luke the Barbarian and his Witcher build, because he did his build before mine. It may have been a year ago, so there are things that he has in his build that I do not. So you'll have to decide which build is better. Make sure to also show Taluk some appreciation. For some reason I pronounced his name wrong. It's Tulok. Tulok the Barbarian, not Taluk. I mixed up the two letters. My apologies, Tulok. Anyway, make sure to show Tulok some appreciation. Whatever you feel that appreciation is up to you. Until next time, my dear viewers, this has been Drayhan, and I am offline. Oh, just one more quick thing. If your Dungeon Master does not like using the Blood Hunter for whatever reason, go ahead and get either the Fighter with the Monster Hunter subclass, or the Fighter using the Eldritch Knight or Cavalier. Whichever one best fits your campaign.